You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. With me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And every week, I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid, working, unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready? Hey, unstoppable actor. Welcome to another juicy episode of the podcast. I am so excited that you are here. Sometimes you might not feel like an unstoppable actor, and that is completely okay. Sometimes you might even question whether you are an actor, which is completely okay. But you are here listening to this episode, and this means you want to be an unstoppable actor. So I am so glad to have you here, and I'm going to help you do just that. If you are brand new and you've only just discovered the podcast, hello, welcome. It's so good to have you here. So let me introduce myself very quickly then so you know who I am. My name's Louise, as you know from the introduction. I am an acting coach who specialises in method acting, and I've been coaching actors of all levels, but predominantly unknown actors who are just getting started, who I've started with either no acting CV whatsoever or a completely blank acting CV, and I've helped them develop their skills to such a level that they have started converting more auditions into acting jobs. And some of those acting jobs have been things like roles in Amazon Prime films, meaty roles in TV soaps, meaty roles in Netflix dramas, stage plays, and also landing incredible agents. And I mean the ones that have good connections. So if I've helped them do that, I can definitely help you do that too. Now, of course, there's not just this podcast that you can listen to. We also have a 10-week method acting program, and the next 10-week method acting module begins in April 2023, and applications are open for it now. We've got 8 places available on it, and what we will be diving into is monologues. Now, monologues are amazing. They're often overlooked, but they are amazing because we might be asked to use them in self-tapes. We might be asked to do a monologue for a self-tape. A self-tape is just an audition that you record for yourself if you are not aware of what that is. We might want to record ourselves doing a monologue when we're not getting much work to put on our socials, or to send off to casting directors when we're writing to them. We may also want to record a monologue as something to put into our show reel if we don't have a show reel and we want to get one up and running, or if our show reel is feeling a little bit outdated and it just needs something fresh in it quickly. So monologues are amazing for those reasons and many more as well. And this next module that begins in April, we will be looking into monologues and how we can absolutely give our best performances in them. So we smash the self-tapes with them. We can make our show reel as absolutely amazing as we possibly can with a monologue. And we can also get some very decent monologues on our socials as well to market ourselves. So to apply for a place on the April 2023 10-week method acting module, click the link below this podcast. I will be coaching you. I will be helping you up-level your skills. I will be showing you what your performance blind spots are and also your strengths. And I will be giving you a lot of juicy method acting exercises to work with to help you feel confident. So let's dive into the episode itself then. So we've already established why monologues are important and what part they play in our acting career, especially in the early days. But what I see happen more often than not with monologues is actors will either sit on a chair to perform a monologue or stand up to perform a monologue, but pretty much become like a statue. What they're not doing is they are not creating the environment that the character is in. They are forgetting that. The first question in method acting is always, how do I create truth when everything around me is fake? Now, when it comes to monologues, there's nothing more fake than doing a monologue in your bedroom. There's nothing more fake than doing a monologue in an audition and knowing that you're in a cramped little room, or you might even be in a beautiful room, but it's an office and it doesn't look like the environment that you are in or that the character is in. So that is what often gets overlooked. So you've got to answer this question, how do I create truth when everything around me is fake? And one of the things you've got to create with a monologue is the environment the character is in. So don't forget about that. Don't overlook it. Now, I want to tell you a quick story, because when you can create the environment that you are in using your imagination, it will trigger emotions and you will get an emotional response, and you will start to feel your way through the monologue emotionally, because imagination and emotions are connected. So when I was in my professional training, I was in my 3rd year, we had to audition for the shows that we did. And obviously we had to do a monologue. That was the way that we auditioned. So this is why monologues are very, very important to get on top of and to get really sharp. So what I did is I took a moment, and now I didn't train in method acting to begin with. I then went on to train in method acting a little bit later on in my acting career. But I was starting to already instinctively use the method without even realising. So anyway, to go back to this audition, I just took a moment and I started to imagine where I was as the character. And the minute I did that, it triggered the sadness that this character was feeling in the monologue that I had been struggling to connect to. And it was absolutely amazing. Now, I didn't realise that I'd used a technique called sense memory. And doing that landed me the role. So it's very, very important that you are using sense memory. Sense memory is important because it gets you, it's a bit like taking your imagination to the gym. So the sense memory exercises can be a little bit tedious and challenging, but they're challenging for a reason, because they get you to stretch your imagination. So as I said, it's like taking your imagination to the gym for an intensive workout. So that means when it comes to doing monologues, by using sense memory, you can use your imagination on demand, on tap, and you never go back into overthinking the performance. You never go back into being aware that you are in a cringy room, or even a really nice room, or your bedroom, or wherever you're doing the monologue. And it stops you from performing the monologue, either just sitting in a chair, sitting on the floor, or stood up like a statue. So it's really important that you use that. Now, the other exercise that you want to be using to help you with a monologue is something called private moment. This is where your character is by themselves. What that does is, again, it helps you put them into their environment, but it also helps you take them away from the script and give them a life away from the script, so you can see the kind of things that they do or experience the kind of things that they do when they're not in the scenes in the script. And sometimes when we're focusing on monologues, we do forget that characters have a life away from the script, and we get so fixated on the lines and how we need to say them, and whether we're inflecting up on the right place, or whether we're spiking the right word in the sentence, or we get fixated on the emotions. But we can't push emotions out of us. We can't force emotions. They have to come from us stimulating our imagination. So both sense memory and private moment exercise are the ones that will stimulate your imagination and put you right into the shoes of the character, right into their environment, and get you having these emotional experiences that you want. And then the emotions will take you on a journey. Now, the other thing you need to remember with a monologue is that your character has a need. They've got a purpose. They're not just saying these lines just for the sake of it. There's something that's driven them to start talking and to not be interrupted. So that's something else that you need to consider when you are rehearsing and preparing a monologue. If you put these 3 things into action, your monologues will have life in them, they will have soul, they will be full of vitality, they will be clearly expressed, they will be sharp, they will be vivid, your imagination will be vivid, and you will really enjoy the monologue. You will feel alive in it, and you will live through the moment rather than trying to force the words to sound natural. Now, if you're thinking, well, the private moment exercise and the sense memory and the scene need, it all sounds well and good, but I don't really know how to use them. I don't really know where to get started with them. Then these are 3 of the exercises that we will be using in the April 2023 10-week method acting module, where we focus on monologues, so we can get your monologues for auditions and self-tapes and show reels to a very high standard. I will be coaching you through them, showing you how to use them, and then also giving you feedback on how you're adapting to them and how you can keep improving them as well. So I do recommend you at least checking out the 10-week method acting module and then filling in an application form if you know you need to improve your monologues and you also know you need to work with method acting, which, to be honest, method acting is the way that you're going to develop your talent quicker. So the link's underneath. I do hope this episode has been useful for you. I hope you are coming away from it thinking, wow, yeah, that's made me really think differently about monologues. And I hope it's made you recognise where you might actually be tripping yourself up with monologues as well. So please do leave us a review as well, because it does help me help more actors like yourself. And as I've said in previous episodes, God, when I was first getting started with an acting career, there was nothing like this available. And it took me so bloody long to figure it all out. So hopefully these podcasts are speeding up the time it takes you to develop and improve. And obviously, if you do come and join our 10-week method acting module, that will speed it up even quicker. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. I have absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. Now, if you did, I'd really love you to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and leave a review. And if you would like weekly injections of inspiration, you'd like mini method acting challenges to keep you making progress with your dreams, come and join the most supportive acting community online by clicking the link in the notes to help you become an unstoppable actor.